Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. If you're new here, welcome. To my returning viewers, I really appreciate you. On today's menu, there's this chicken and spaghetti stir fry you'll absolutely love. Let's get started. Here I have a piece of chicken breast already washed and clean. I washed this up in some lemon juice and pat dried a piece of paper towel, and I'm going to go ahead and cut these into some slices, then into some thin strips. I was actually doing a review on this knife, and let me tell you guys, the knife is super sharp. It's like cutting butter. You'll absolutely need this. I'll leave the link to this down below so you could go ahead and check it out, and I have a review coming up on this knife as well. It's super sharp, guys. Now my chicken is finished cutting, and here's what it's looking like. So I'm just going to go ahead and season this with some seasoning. So here I have this Flavor Mate. These are salt free. I found these on Amazon. I'll leave a link to this down in my description box to my Amazon storefront where you could get these. So these are nicely flavored without the salt, and you could use as much as you like. But of course I need a little bit more flavor, so I'll be adding some seasoning salt to this, and I'll go in a little bit of baking soda just to tenderize the meat and kind of crisp up while it's cooking, and I'm going to set aside to marinate for about 30 minutes. In the meantime, I'm going to go ahead and prep my veggies. I'll be using half of this onion. Usually, guys, you know I'll prep before I come on screen, but as I mentioned, I was doing a review and I want to check it out. And let me tell you guys, this knife set from Imarco is... it's the real deal, guys. It's super sharp and affordable, and this knife is it. So here I am cutting my veggies. I'm cutting up some bell peppers, red, green, yellow, and some orange. Feel free to add any other veggies of choice. If you want to add some carrots, some broccoli, just use whatever you have on hand to make this dish. And you don't have to go and shop for this. Just use whatever you have in your refrigerator. Then also I'm just going to go ahead and cut my scallion. I'm not going to cut them fine. I'm just going to go ahead and use the smaller knife in the set just to kind of cut it in half and lengthwise, so it has the length and texture of the rest of the veggies. And I'm going to go ahead and mash some garlic and ginger. Fresh garlic and ginger is always best. So you do not want to skip this step. This is absolutely necessary for this dish. It takes it over the top. I'm going to go ahead and mince this up in some small minces, as small as possible, as small as you possibly can. If you have garlic paste and ginger paste, by all means go ahead and use that, but fresh is always best. It makes for a tastier and delicious dish. Now for this, I'll be using some whole grain spaghetti. Feel free to use any spaghetti of choice. And I'm going to go ahead and create that sauce in the meantime. So to a bowl, I'm going to go in with some soy sauce. And I'm going to add some mirin to this. Mirin is just Chinese cooking wine. And I'm going to go ahead and add some sesame oil. I will leave the full recipe of everything I use down in the description box for you to follow along. And I'm going to also go in with some oyster sauce. You could also substitute whatever sauce you have with the ones you do, and just leave whatever you don't have. You could leave it out. This sauce is super versatile and flexible. You could add or take away. And I'm also going to go in with the king of sauces, my oyster sauce. And to this, I'm going to go in with some water just to thin it out a bit, and about a teaspoon of cornstarch. And this is going to create a slurry. At this point, it might look a little bit lumpy, but you want to mix until it fully dissolves. Ensure you're mixing in cold water. If you're using hot water to mix, it will not dissolve. So mix in cold water and then set aside. So into my pot with boiling water, I add some salt and my spaghetti. And you want to cook according to package instruction or to your preferred texture. In my wok, I went in with a little bit of vegetable oil, allow that to heat up. Then I'm going to add my chicken strips and I'm going to cook these on one side until they're golden brown. And then we're going to flip these over and cook them until they're fully cooked. You want them to get a nice sear, so if you have to do this in batches, go ahead and do it in batches. Just make sure that you get a nice crust on it. And this took roughly about 6 to 7 minutes to fully cook. We don't really want to overcook them. We just want them nice and cooked and juicy and tender. And you also want to do this on a high heat because you don't want it to make no water. You want it to stir fry. I'm going to go ahead and remove these from the wok and then show you what I do next. In that same pan, I'm going to add a little bit more oil and I'm going to go in with my freshly minced garlic and ginger, and I'm going to saute this for about a minute or two just to get this fragrant and soften up a bit before adding my rest of veggies. And you want to keep stirring because you don't want to burn it because garlic burn easily. Then in with the veggies, and you're going to stir this for an additional 2 to 3 minutes until they soften up just a bit and the onions start to look a bit translucent. We don't really want to overcook them. We want them to still have a little bit of texture once the dish is ready. Now I'm going to go in with my spaghettis, and I'm going to go ahead and stir this up and allow this to kind of get some flavor on it. And then I'm going to add the sauce to it. And the sauce, once you add the sauce, that's where it's going to thicken up and create that nice coating over the noodles and the vegetable, and the cornstarch is going to thicken. So the cornstarch is actually your thickening agent, and it's going to make this nice, glossy and delicious. Now I'm just going to go ahead and stir this until it's nice and thick. And if for some reason you don't have enough sauce in there, when you are draining your pasta, you want to leave a little bit of that pasta water. It comes in handy. Or if you don't have pasta water, you could just use some regular water, but save some of the pasta water. It has flavor and it also has thickener in it as well because the pasta is super starchy. So I'm just going to add a little bit of my pasta water just to get a little bit more sauce on those noodles, and I'm just going to, or spaghetti, and I'm going to mix well until everything is nicely coated and the sauce is nice and thick. Then I'm going to go in with my chicken, of course, and its juices that it has been resting in, and I'm going to mix well to fully incorporate. And guys, it's that simple and easy to create this dish. It is smelling amazing. Oh my God, the flavor is to die for. That garlic and ginger took it over the top. And yeah, that's it pretty much. I'm just going to go ahead and garnish with some fresh scallion. This part is totally optional, but it has an extra bit of fresh bite to it. And yeah, dinner is served. Remember guys, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up and share it with someone who you think would enjoy this recipe. And if you want to see more amazing recipe like this one, go ahead, hit the subscription button, turn on your post notification bell so you'll be notified every time I upload a video. Thank you so very much for watching. Bye now.